I tell you guys, I ain't never been so happy to see a Dodge 4 in all my life. Today we are up here on the Michigan state line. I had to go help a buddy out with some stuff on the way up to get this one, and I was looking at a Reno, Nevada, and I probably should have taken it. It was 23 foot long with a GVWR of 6,900 pounds or something like that. And I was just about to click the button, and a Santee, California popped up. And I do like Southern Californias. I've never been here, so Holland RV in Santee, California. I've been to Holland RV in San Marcos, and I love going there. But I took it and started packing the truck up, and I didn't really even look to see what it was. And I do believe it's a 38 or 39 foot Momentum, and I do believe it's going to be a toy hauler. So we'll have to see that shortly. Let's see when we get up here. But it's got a GVWR of 20,000 pounds, so I'm assuming it's going to be 15 or so. But I've pulled quite a few of them before, and they pull really good, especially in wind and all that stuff, so you just don't get very good fuel mileage with them. But anyway, we'll get on up here and actually get to see it and see what we're going to get hooked up and get out of here. I at least want to make it to Joplin tonight, or not Joplin, but Effingham tonight, even though I'd really hope to make it to Joplin. But I got tied up, and I know that's not going to happen. I think I found it right there. I'm just wondering if I can get it out without moving that reflection. This is her. That's a nice one. And I got it in widescreen. It may look a little bit bigger than what it is. This is in a regular screen. Maybe it is just that long. I'm gonna get to try the old weatherproof bag out pretty good this time. I got it packed full of crap, and I'm sure we're gonna get some rain across through here somewhere, so I'll get to see how that works out. Before you move the trailer, I always check the jaws in the fifth wheel. Make sure they're locked in good, and they are. She actually came on out of there pretty easy. And I've already checked my lug nuts, double check my VIN. Plates on, all the lights seem to be working. Everything seems all good. We're gonna try to get on out here and get to Effingham tonight. I think I showed you guys this. I was showing another guy earlier today. This stretchy cord right here. Always hook it in this hoop right here with the breakaway. That way, I went through this one too, just so if this wire got loose, it would keep it in, where it wouldn't let it blow plumb out the tailgate. But if this thing comes loose, it's going to pull that plug. If it doesn't pull the plug, it's worthless. You can't hook it up here somewhere. Somebody was asking me about that today. Kind of got a late start this morning, slow go, and got on the road thinking everything was going to be good. I was going to have a smooth day. Of course not. So I'm sitting here on I-44. Felt a vibration while I was coming down the road and wasn't really sure what it was, but I felt it before I eased over. As soon as I felt it, I kind of thought I knew what it was. Eased over, walking around here, and I could see that tire wasn't exactly straight. 8 lug nuts, got one left. So I have a friend that went to the dealership in Springfield, and he's getting lug nuts. I do not know why these things keep loosening up. The other side gave me a fit last year. It wasn't this bad, but it did break a couple of studs off, and I went ahead and replaced the studs. It all started when I went to the tire store to get these tires put on, and they over torqued the heck out of my lug studs. When I went to take them off, I actually broke multiple studs off trying to get them off first time I did my rotation at home, and I replaced the other wheel over there. I replaced all the studs on it, and after that I had a problem with them loosening off, and I think it was because I think it may have done something with the wheel. I never was really sure. I replaced lug nuts, I replaced lug studs, the whole 9 yards, and that side over there finally got to where it stays tight. And I torque my lug nuts consistently now. Like every couple of days every time I grab the torque wrench out to torque those down, I hit these two. And I've never had to do that before. And every now and again I find a loose one. That's why I consistently keep doing it. So I've changed studs, I changed lug nuts, and I changed wheels, and they're still loosening off. But figure it out, I guess. Hopefully my buddy will get here before too long, and we can tear this thing down and get started putting studs in. In the unfortunate event you had to stop right on the edge of the highway, make sure and put those triangles out. Very important. They really do help. This guy stopped by to make sure that I was okay, and my hat is off to the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. He sat there with me for a long time before he had another call and had to leave. I tell you guys, I ain't never been so happy to see a Dodge going all my life. It is a windy day here in Sayre, Oklahoma. Looking like it's gonna be wind all the way across today. But this thing is really cutting through the wind. That's the only good thing I got to say about that trailer. It handles the wind really good. But I went around, torqued every lug nut on the truck and trailer, checked all my fluids, got everything best I can tell. It looks like it'll stay together today, I hope. We'll get ready to take another shot at it. Did a pretty good pre-trip this morning, went over and looked everything over, retorqued all the lug nuts on truck and trailer and everything again. There is no reason that should have happened yesterday. I'm really aggravated about it. Not so much that it happened as to why did it happen, because I had just torqued those lug nuts when I hooked this trailer up. That was the furthest thought from my mind that could happen. When I felt the vibration, if you're driving down the road and you feel anything off, I mean, once you drive these kind of miles in the same vehicle, you're gonna know when something's not right. And it's don't think, well, maybe it's the road or maybe it's what, pull over and check stuff. The first time that it happened to me, back last year, it was on the driver's side. And as soon as I felt it, I pulled over and the lug nuts had got loose. And I think it was where they hammered those lugs down so tight that I broke lug nuts on the driver's side, taking them off where I got my tires put on. And then whenever I put them back on and torqued them back down, they had stretched the studs. So I really feel like that's what happened. And then I had a horrible time keeping them tight after that. And well, for the next trip, and then I came in and I replaced all 8 studs on the driver's side back. I wasn't having any issues out of the passenger side back, so I didn't replace them. I didn't break any on the driver's side. I actually broke them as I was taking them off to rotate tires. It didn't happen on the passenger side, so it wasn't broke. I didn't see the need of fixing it. So, but yeah, I don't know. When I put these wheels on, I put all new lug nuts, and they were fine up until most of the time. I torque them, I retorque them, I retorque them, and you torque them the first time and they're good. So I figured after changing lug nuts and wheels and all that stuff, I figured I had that issue fixed. But apparently not. I got the torque wrench riding shotgun again, and every time I stop, I'll be tightening freaking lug nuts. Checked them this morning. Every lug nut on the truck was tight. I checked them yesterday when I was sitting on the side of the road waiting on parts to get there, and every lug nut, every other wheel was tight, no loose at all. You know, so anyhow, my buddy Brian that went and chased parts for me all day yesterday, and then drove all the way down there in the middle of the night. Got there at I think he got there at like 8 o'clock, and we got finished about 11, and he still had a 2.5 hour drive back home after that. Man, my hero. Appreciate it. But I don't think he watches the videos, but lifesaver. Somebody asked me, when I first started making these videos and I first started doing this, people would ask, well, in your opinion, what is the most important thing that what do I need to get first? What's the most important thing that I need for this job? Friends that are already doing this job. People that already are out here running in the lanes you're going to run and all that. You need to find some people that are going to be running the same lanes that you plan on running. And that way, when something happens to them, you're in a position where you can help them out. Whenever something happens to you, they're in a position where they can help you out. And I'll tell you this, back 3.5 years ago, before I started this, I kept to myself. I was in the same little circle of people, and I didn't like meeting new people because there's a lot of crappy people in the world, and I guess I had just, wasn't meeting the right people. But I'll tell you this, after I started doing this job, it's what trucking used to be. There's you get a few every now and again, that are just, questionable or whatever, but for the majority of people out here doing this, they're just good people. Just really, really good people. I met more people in the last 3.5 years than you could have convinced me that existed in the world 4 years ago. So that's a good thing. Anyway, that last night wore me out. I think I'm starting to get old. Not handling it like I used to. But anyway, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they said, you know, after the transmission lines and that stuff, you're just kind of having a bad run of luck right now. I said, no. If that wheel would have come off, I'd have had a bad day. If it would have come off and hurt me or somebody else, that would have been a bad day. That it came off where it did on a nice, beautiful, sunshiny day and not raining, freezing rain, snow, wind, horrible weather and all that, that would have been it can think, I don't care how bad things are, they can always get worse. So here at the TA in Amarillo, just got fuel. I walk around looking everything over, clean my windows, and get up here to my windshield. I see, didn't notice it till I was cleaning up. Rock kit right here, split went all the way over and turned up, and from the looks of the window, somebody been using the brush to wash oil off their truck, but yeah, it comes over. Well, today is Wednesday the 19th. It just seeming like the trip it just won't end. So a little bit of a recap to the best of my memory. When I first left, I broke a tooth. Not a big deal because I got fake teeth. But it's still aggravating. It's cutting my lip and cutting this side. So that's a steady aggravation. Then plugged into this thing and it's got wiring issues consistently, throwing the Stabilicer and trailer wiring and trailer brake service, all that stuff. All those warnings on the dash. Then the wheel tried to come off on the truck, got that fixed up, and then washing my window, cleaning the windows yesterday at the TA truck stop in Amarillo, and found a crack in the windshield. And then when I took this load, it said it was a 20,000 pound GVWR, and I pulled 20,000 pound. I pulled 21s, but I pulled, that's my air compressor kicking on if y'all hear that. I pulled 20,000 pounds before. When they're listed on the load board at 20,000 pound GVWR, normally they weigh about 15.5, something like that in my experience. This one, when I picked it up, I saw it actually weighed 21,000. I checked the weight on it. It was heavier than that. So I went into the New Mexico port of entry to buy my trip permit, and they said, well, we need to see your IFTA. I said, I don't have IFTA under 26,000 pounds. He said, you're 26,340 pounds. He said, so we can say, you're gonna have to buy the IFTA or get your weight down. I said, no, I'll pay for the IFTA, not a big deal. I got the IFTA. No overweight ticket, nothing like that. They just charged me for the IFTA. All in, I think it was 60. I can't remember in the paperwork back there. It was $60-something where it's normally $29.20. So then I'm coming on across, and I called Arizona. I called Permit America and got my Arizona permit, and I made it just in the Holbrook, past them scales last night. I'm assuming they would have just asked me for that too, for the IFTA. But here's something to think about. I just filled up in Amarillo and drove 80 miles, 90 miles, and crossed those scales. So I'll probably burn off about 9 gallons of fuel weighing 8 pounds a gallon. That's what I've always figured it out. Figured it out was 8 pounds a gallon. So at 8 pounds a gallon, 350 pounds would have been like 43 gallons. So you say you're 350 pounds over and divide that by 8. 8 divided into 350 was like 43 and some change. So once I burn off 45 gallons, I'm legal. I'm back under 26,000. So that that's kind of what I'm banking on for the rest of Arizona. That's why I wanted to get past the scales last night, so I didn't have to roll across the scales with full of fuel. So I had to do that a lot in the 18-wheeler when you're holding 300 gallons, 250 gallons, 300 gallons of fuel. Figure my weight up, and if I was going to be a couple of 100 pounds over, or 500 pounds, whatever it was, I would figure out when you're hauling stuff that's heavy, a lot of time you always go in full of fuel. That way they don't overload you, because they'll put you on the scale and load you right to the limit. If you go in on empty, you can't put any fuel in. So on that, by now I've already burned off at my whole whopping 5 miles per gallon I'm getting today. I've already burned off. I got a 36 gallon tank on the truck, and my fuel light just came on when I pulled in there. So on that plug, on the service trailer stuff, I had changed it from the plug on the bumper to the plug on the bed. I never have issues. Once in a blue moon do I have issues with the trailer where it says check trailer wiring and all that. I've never had one so bad it threw the ABS on the truck and the stability track on the truck. So that's new to me. So that I don't know, it's just been a long trip. Like I say, the trip, it just won't end. But they said I could park on their parking lot. I'm 7 hours 40 minutes away. This wind is not going to get anything. It's going to be consistent and steady all day. It is a headwind, so it's really hurting, killing me on fuel. But once I get to Flagstaff, I'm out of it. So I just take it real slow and easy till I get to Flagstaff and get on 17, and hopefully it'll be better. Hopefully it'll be better. With it being the hills and the wind and all that, I haven't run a truck 5th gear, trying to not run the exhaust gas temperature so hard, so high, and work everything so hard. I had another buddy that was pulling one of these going out here, and he said at Amarillo for a full day because of wind. And I've been meaning to check to see where he's at today. But also, I was going to tell you guys, if y'all have called in the past couple of days and I haven't answered or got back to you, I've seen emails and all kind of stuff. Video went out last night, and I haven't even had a chance to look at the comments. It's just been a rough trip. I haven't been getting back to much of anybody. But anyway, we're going to ride on down the road, and we're passing a big meteor crater here in Arizona now. Ride on down the road. Hopefully the wind will die down and we'll get over Flag and have a good rest of the trip, I'm hoping. Guys, this Interstate 17 coming out of Flagstaff going south, I haven't run it in a long time. It's been about 3 years since I've been down through here, and I gotta tell you, they need to put this sun gun out of order and redo it. I thought 40 going on across from Flagstaff to Kingman was bad shape. From Flagstaff to the California state line is horrible. But this right here, this is worse. I've seen so many cars pulled over changing tires and stuff like that because they hit these potholes and brake belts in the tires and all that stuff. Possibility that's what weakened my wheel up where I get a cracked wheel. I believe I ran over something up on the yard in Indiana, but I mean, that many miles running down roads like this is the smoothest I've seen it in a while coming off this big hill. Beautiful scenery, crappy road. Arizona ought to be ashamed of themselves for letting their road get in the shape it's in. But anyway, got a call from another guy a while ago, and he's having engine problems. I'm not sure what's going on with him, so it looks like I'm going to try to go and hurry up and get out and get delivered as fast as I can, and maybe I can come back and give him a hand. side of the road once again. This trim right here, I haven't had this issue on this trailer, but this trim will pop loose and you can just go back around, feed it back in. I'm going to use both hands to do that, but that's all there is to it. You just got to get it in good or it'll blow right back out. So there, got that put back in. Just work it right up around, and if there's a curve, work it back to the curve, start at the bottom and work your way back up the curve and then put it back in. Maybe that'll stay for a while. Sorry if it's a little blurry, but I have been climbing the steepest hill with the heaviest load that I think I've ever pulled with this truck. And there's what the gauges are saying. I'm all the way down in third gear running 40 miles an hour. I'm really happy with the temperatures. I'm really happy with all of it, but dang, this is a steep hill. Right around mile marker number 80 on Interstate 8. Very happy with how it's doing. Very aggravated I'm putting it through this. And yeah, I still got a lot of pedal left. I mean, I'm not stepping on it at all. I'm just letting it breathe. Just letting it ease on up the hill. Very happy with that. Top left is the engine coolant temperature, then transmission coolant or transmission fluid temperature. To the far right is the engine oil temperature, soot level, transmission gear and lockup condition, or whatever you call that, and then outside air temperature, or intake air temperature, however you put that. And there's my EGTs at the manifold, and as they start down the pipe from position 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just easing along about 40 miles an hour. I'm not the only one though. This guy's having a hard time with it too. Well, finally got this heavy aggravating trailer to where she's going. And can't say I'll be sad to see it go. And Holland RV is right down there at the other end of this building. I'm gonna zoom y'all in. Right there where those trailers are. Right in the end of the building. So they told me to pull past their entrance and turn in to the next entrance, so that will be right here. Anyway, I'm wondering if that's not their lot right there too. So, but I'm gonna park here and I'll let you guys know how it goes in the morning. Hopefully I won't get woke up, because I did also see that sign. So I don't know, hopefully that doesn't mean me. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the morning. So when I woke up the next morning, the guy that checks in the camper said I might as well go have breakfast. The Ranch House restaurant is right next door to the dealership, and I gotta tell you, this place was really good. It was almost worth the drive just to have breakfast there. Definitely recommend. Shortly after I got finished with breakfast, I came back outside, and it wasn't but a few minutes and they had came over and started checking the unit in. Now the gentleman that checks the trailer in was letting me know that this trailer had upgraded, top of the line, biggest you could go with everything in it. They had upgraded the brakes to electric over hydraulics, which is why it threw my truck for a loop, because I'm not set up for electric over hydraulic. It had the biggest refrigerator, freezer, all that stuff. He said they added a dishwasher, just a lot of stuff that doesn't come on this trailer normally, and he said the shipping weight on the title was definitely incorrect. The reason he knew so much about the weights and all the different extra add-ons about this unit was because the guy that had bought it was planning to pull it with a single wheel 3500, and they were kind of going back and forth with him, telling him he definitely needed to upgrade his truck if he's planning on pulling this thing cross country. I have to agree, because this is empty. This is not with all of his stuff in it, so I can only imagine what it's going to weigh and how it's going to pull whenever someone gets it actually loaded down. But this is an absolutely beautiful trailer. I'm very happy I will never see it again. I figured while we're here and they're finishing up the paperwork, we may as well go ahead and take a look around at the rest of the inside of the unit. I did ask permission. They said they did not mind. And as far as Holland RV goes, I definitely recommend going to Holland RV, Santee, California. They checked me in really fast. No hassles. I mean, it was great place to eat next door. Really good experience. I would definitely go back. So I am glad we're finally done and delivered that thing. That was a monster. That is probably going to be my last tri-axle. Poor old truck. It's got less than 5,000 miles. It'd be at 500,000 miles. And this hill that we're going down right now was rough on it. It was the hardest pull that this truck has ever been in with that much weight on it before. So I'm not trying to do that to it. I still need it to last a little bit longer. The brakes on that trailer, they said, were the reason it kept throwing everything off was they were electric over hydraulic, and that was, the truck's just not set up for electric over hydraulic. And I didn't really realize that. I should have known that, but I didn't. And that's why whenever you would push the brakes, it would take forever for the trailer brakes to come in and all that stuff. Anyway, I was not set up properly to haul that trailer. That load did pay $1.91 a mile. Yes, I'm kind of ashamed that I pulled it for that, but I would have been better off taking the 23-footer to Reno. But with me having the issues that I had and being in the line of people that I know, that really helped me out. Because if I would have been on 80, I have no idea who could have came and helped me out when that happened. And I do believe that I have an issue going on. I think after they nailed those wheels down with the impact gun and over tightened and stretched my studs, like I say, after I got these tires put on the first tire rotation, I was breaking studs trying to get the tires off where they nailed them down too tight. And I've had issues ever since with them trying to loosen up. I replaced pretty much all the studs now and all the lug nuts, and I've been torquing them religiously until I got the camper off, especially. But I don't know. I hate to be somebody that's going to start Loctite my lug nuts on, but you know, the one that I had issues with before was on the driver's side, and they were fine. And this was the other side. Like I said, I don't know. Can't explain that because I had torqued them twice since the rotation, and they were fine both times, and they just loosened up. A lot of people are going to say, well, it was that big trailer. It shouldn't be the trailer. The reason I say it shouldn't be the trailer is the wheel sits on a flange on the axle, and that supports the weight. The lug nuts just hold it up tight on that flange. So that's why I don't really think it had that much to do with the weight. If it would have busted the wheel or something like that, or been different, it would have been different if it was a different circumstance. But in my personal opinion, it didn't help anything, but it wasn't what actually started the problem. It's not, the lug nuts got loose. Calexico, next exit. This is my first time coming across. Last night was my first time coming across 8. This is my second time going across 8. I kind of like it down through here. And if you get a chance to go to the Ranch Hand, I cannot remember the name of it. If you go to Holland RV, Santee, California, the restaurant that's in the same building as Holland RV, definitely recommend them. That was excellent food, excellent service, really good place to go. If it was closer, I would drive back out and just have breakfast there. So talking about being in the line of, you know, where I know people that run. There is another, you know, I had trouble on the way down. There was a gentleman who brought my stuff down, thank goodness, and helped me out. And I can't say thank you enough, but he doesn't watch the videos. So anyway, there's another gentleman that I met through the videos, and he, sorry, my ear's trying to pop. He is in Mesa, Arizona, and there's something going on with his truck. And from the video he sent me and what I've seen and just my opinion, it's probably not going to be good. I'm hoping we get there and plug it in, but there's no codes. But it's got blow by, and it's a Ford. I don't think there's a lot of difference. I mean, a motor to motor, but it's either an injector or some way or another. I feel like it's got a pretty rough knock to it, and it's got blow by worse than what I think it should be. I don't know. I don't want to say. Hopefully it'll be an injector or something we can fix in the parking lot. If not, we've been trying to figure out how to get his truck home. I think I've come up with something, but we'll have to see that in the next video. It should be interesting. It'll be something I've never done before. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. But hopefully there won't be that video. Hopefully we'll get up here and get him going, and we'll just run back together, and I'll make sure, that way we'll make sure he's okay. But, you know, with him being, there was another friend, Mike, delivered yesterday in Indio, California, and he was able to go back and check on him if he needed to. There was another guy delivering out here, coming through that way yesterday. He's going to deliver tomorrow. Could have checked on him, or if we needed something helped out. It's just good to stay. And I got a couple of emails on that last video I did about people saying, you know, like running 80 and 90, there's nothing wrong with it, they run it all the time, and I understand that. I'm not knocking, I'm definitely not knocking veteran drivers. I'm not knocking people who do it. I'm not knocking people. The only point I was trying to make by saying that, I did not mean don't run 80 or 90. 80, 90 is bad. I don't mean that. I mean for new guys that have barely driven outside of the town that they live in, that have never done this before. They're new starting out. Stick to the more populated routes. Stick to routes where when you go through orientation, you're going to meet drivers. Ask them, where are you headed off to, you know? And when you find there are so many good people doing this job. When you find a clique that they're running 80 and 90 back and forth, stay with them. You know, that way whenever something happens, you can give them a call and say, hey, my wheel fell off. Can you bring me some lug nuts and studs? My injector went down. Can you bring me an injector? I know another guy back a couple years ago, he made a call in the middle of the night because there was 4 of us running the same way. We were all spaced out 2 to 4 hours apart, and he had to call back and say, hey, my truck just died. It slung the belt. Truck died. I'm in traffic. How long before you get here? He was right off. He couldn't hardly get off the edge of the road. So he sat there with his flashers on, his triangles out for about 45 minutes till the next guy got there, and they figured it out where they could tow him, you know, pull him to the next exit. I mean, yeah, it just, that's all I was getting at. I wasn't trying to say, you know, 40, 20, 10 good, 80, 90 bad. I wasn't saying that. Hopefully this summer I will start running more 80 and 90, and I do know some people that run up that way, and you know, I just kind of enjoy this. I love the scenery down here and all that, but I like it up there too. And I had another buddy that just went up there. He was talking about how it's gorgeous, roads are dry, everything's good. Talked to him 45 minutes later. What are you doing? I'm sitting here, it's snowing so hard I can't see 10 feet in front of the truck, and there's a truck jackknifed in the middle of the road. It just changes so fast up there. There's so many high elevations, and when you go up, you don't know what to expect. So until you get used to that, it can throw you for a curve. And I'm not used to it anymore. My first year with Jimbo's, I burned it up, but and it was fine. I enjoyed it, but this is just my preference. And Anyway, we're gonna get on back over to Mesa and see if we can figure out what's going on with Buddy's truck. And I'm pretty sure that's gonna be my last tri-axle toy hauler, just because I don't want to put my truck through that. Yes, I did have to buy a IFTA in New Mexico, but they did not write me an overweight ticket, thank goodness. I didn't chance that with Arizona. I believe like I said, if you do the math on it, and fuel weighs 8 pounds per gallon. If I burn off 45 gallons out of the 106 that I carry, that would put me back under 26,000 pounds, and they wouldn't have said a word. So I think I was good when I went to Arizona, but just to be on the safe side, I called in and ordered my permit, and I came through after hours. So, not that I think I was over, but that I thought, why mess with it, my chance it. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate y'all for watching these videos. I hope you enjoy them as much as I enjoy making them, and I will see you in the next one.